Super excited to have you all back to share another amazing purpose, journey, and story. Today, I have a special guest that's in an inner circle and like a family member to me. So happy to have you here, Sarah. Welcome to Share Your Purpose podcast. And yeah, where are you from currently?
Thanks, Rose, of having me. I'm so excited to meet everyone virtually today. And I'm in Sydney, Australia. Right now it's nine something, almost 10 for me right here.
Awesome. And are you originally from Australia?
No, you probably can tell from my accent. So I born and raised in Hong Kong and I moved to Australia when I was 18. So I speak fluent Cantonese, Mandarin, and English.
Beautiful. Um, so I want to get right down to the most beautiful and fun question, which is where your purpose started. So, you know,
Mm.
for all of us, our purpose starts in a different journey, and sometimes it goes all over the place, but we're looking for those little breadcrumbs or those purpose stories that have led to your purpose journey. So take us back to the beginning and lead us to where you are today.
That's a really amazing question. Thank you for asking it. For me, because I'm born and grown in a Christian family, so we've been taught since we're a kid in Sunday school there's a purpose in our life, and our life is to serve God. So this is what I'm always believe in. But what you believe in versus what actually doing sometimes has a bit of distance. Like a lot of kids growing up at church, you want to be the good church girl, and I did. Like I'm the one that who tried my best and did my best in academically. And even when I finished high school, I moved to Australia. I was studying psychology, and I became a psychologist focusing in business psychology. And I got a job in from starting from the Big Four consultancy, then to the bank. Then the perfect point for me was in 2019, 2020. It was the year I turned 30. I'm not sure in American culture, but in Asia culture, there's a lot of unperceived pressure or stress, not stress, like almost like a checklist that you want to take by the time you're done 30. So some of the example would be like getting married, or maybe you had a house deposit, or you got a decent job, maybe with a six figure, or potentially in a professional setting. So you have some expectation. And funny enough, or I didn't hit any of them. And I had a long term relationship until the year before, and it didn't work out. And so that's I devote all my energy and effort into work, and my work got restructured. So I did extra hard trying to hustle to prove my value at work, and end up actually I was sacrificing my physical well-being. Towards the end of 2019, I can sense my body is not coping with the stress, and also I'm feeling completely exhausted. I'm burning out. And early 2020, an artery structure came through, and I can sense my body is yelling for help because I couldn't sleep at night. And as the train approaching, because I live in Sydney, and I get on, we had a harbour bridge, and I need to get on the harbour bridge before the train approach the stop to get to the office, and my heart rate surged to 130. Yep, 130.
Wow.
And I know there's something wrong with me. So as a psychologist, I know I need to seek help. So I went to see a psychologist to get some counseling and trying to manage my stress level. And end up I made a decision. I'm not going to apply for another role internally. I took the redundancy package and leave. And that was my journey begin. Because initially I had two offers straight away. I thought, okay, that's great. At least I can still prove my value. But as everyone know, by March 2020, COVID hit, and we were in lockdown. And because of that, the two job offers that I've been given, they vanished on the same week. So I'm down. I just moved out, living by myself, home alone, unemployed, and that's the pivotal point of me having a really deep soul searching journey for a couple of months to think about what is actually my purpose. If I'm actually dying, before the vaccine and everything, people were so scared, don't know what's actually going to happen. Am I really fulfilling my purpose? Or who am I? What I'm born or what I'm called to do? Is it only trying to climb the next title in a corporate environment, getting a better paycheck? Is that it? And that was a wake-up call. And I realized it actually wasn't. I think I was doing it because everyone say it's something nice to do, or is it something representing the checklist of success, fulfilling a lot of people's expectation. But down, like deep inside of me, there's something more. And I realized it's time for me to plan for a way out. But it didn't happen. I end up got employed by, I got headhunted for another role in government setup. So I didn't step up. But in my mind, that seed was planted. It may not be a long-term game. I can't see myself working in corporate for another 20 or even 30 years. Then 2 years ago, I got another pivotal point. It's actually one of the book I've been given by my ex-cell group leader at church. It's a book about Christian leadership coaching, and it's called Heart of Worship. Heart of Coaching. Sorry, Heart of Coaching. So I read that book. That book's actually the book I've given was in Chinese. It was a translated copy. So I read it. It resonated with me so much because I've learned about coaching psychology when I was in uni, but those things has been put on the shelf for decades. And this book is actually like this book is really like remind me of everything I've learned at unis, but it onto the lens from a Christian value sense. And I'm really, really glad that I've got given this book. And it felt like a missing puzzle has been found in my life. Because I still remember when I was back in uni, I really enjoy coaching because I see this as a way how to bring breakthrough in people's life. Because in counseling, traditionally, like a lot of counseling, looking at the problem, trying to find the root cause. But in coaching, we always help people to move forward. It's always action oriented, which also align with my personality and my value as well. So I end up actually studying in coaching because of that book. I signed up to the course, and that course was delivered in Mandarin. So I deliberately challenged myself to take a coaching course in Mandarin because I really want to serve people with in their mother tongue, like people. Because I study psychology in English, I'm reasonably confident in delivering coaching sessions in English, and Cantonese is my mother tongue, so I will have no issues doing so. But then Mandarin, because some of the wording or understanding the cultural and nuances in a coaching context, so I took that path to do it, and I'm very glad that I did it. Over the 2 years in learning about coaching, combining with all the toolkit that I have had, even when I was working, because I was a service designer. So I work a lot in using the design thinking framework. It is a creative problem solving framework to help corporate to solve the right problem and help it to prototyping and understanding. And I'm actually literally applying a lot of the principle in helping people to solve the life problem. So I do have quite a few things in my hand and forming my own coaching approach right now. So yeah. And as I've been learning, I'm taking some coaching client on the side. I'm very fortunate that with my friends are very supportive, and also because I was doing a marketplace leadership courses church, my colleague, we know this is what I'm doing, and few of them actually put their hands up to be a guinea pig. So that's how I had my first few coaching client, a paid client. And they absolutely love it. In fact, both of them are still my client after a year and a half because they see a lot of values in having coaching session with me. So it gave me a lot of confidence. And last year, my my team got restructured again. I was just joking. Like I'm almost becoming the master of being made redundant and in restructuring in my corporate life. And I just made a call. Like rather than sensing all the dramas that are happening, I'm going to be brave this time, take a leap of faith, and start my own gig. So since the beginning of this year, I become a full-time coach, becoming a life leadership and career coach, incorporating my faith, incorporating my backgrounds in organizational psychology, and also my experience in innovation, digital transformation, and design thinking to support current and future leaders to flourish without sacrificing their well-being. Because I've lived on that side and I know it's not fun.
Wow, what an amazing journey. And I just love how, each of the breadcrumbs gave you a little bit of something. And of course, finding your faith and then going through that pivotal moment of being 30 and not quite meeting expectations. And then now you get to, recreate the life that you want to live. And that's so beautiful. So I just want to celebrate that, now you get to help leaders and create the life that you love and also help others break through and find the life that they love. So that's so beautiful. I want to ask what were some of the biggest lessons that you learned from that book that you read from the coaching book?
Mm.
What was
The core value, which I always employ, is everyone is powerful. They are capable. I would look at people from Jesus' eyes. That's how we always been believed in. And because in counseling, we had an assumption that the client or the patient is vulnerable. So that's why we do a lot of things to protect them. However, in Christian coaching, we believe everyone is powerful. And that belief itself is so powerful because you change the lens how you see your client, regardless if they are the CEO or if regardless if they're just unfortunately out of job, regardless how healthy they are all powerful. And that's how I base my premises in how I serve them. So I'm not here to help them or drag them across or something. I'm here to serve and empower them so that their unique color can be seen.
I love that. And it's such a holistic way of seeing things. Oftentimes, even you go to the doctor and they see that you have something going on and they want to treat the outside problem, like if you have a fever or a cough, and then they never go to the root, which is what is the real problem. So it's the opposite here, where as instead of seeing, oh, I'm sad or depressed, you're going to the root of who they are and seeing, hey, no, you are valuable and capable, and how can we bring that outside and let it shine through? So that is a I love that approach, is just, giving them that belief and then letting them find it for themselves. Um, that leads me to my next question of what are some of the core values that you have besides, the one that you just said about people being valuable and capable.
Yeah, I believe everyone's valuable, capable, and I also believe everyone can grow.
Mm,
And
awesome.
everyone is unique as well. So often we're kind of put in a cookie cutter because the world kind of wants us to fall into some sort of norm, right? But then I believe we all had unique talent. It's like a fingerprint. I don't know if you have heard about the Gallup Strengths Finder, right? And we often use the is an analysis to help you to find your natural talent, and it puts into there's 34 different types of talent, and it's into four different categories. So like the categories like in strategic thinking, inferential, execution, and the last one is I can't remember the last one on top of my head suddenly, and but it's different people have different flavor, and how do you help the uniqueness in individually so that they can shine? So that's how it relates to the vision they see, how it relates to the purpose they see, and that's give them a lot of energy. Because I believe in intrinsic motivation. People need to be intrinsically motivated in order to do something, so they can wake up every day feeling pumped, like feeling happy and feeling like when they finish work or when they finish the day, they feel satisfied going to sleep.
Yeah, for sure. And I see the biggest example of that in children is we can force them to do ABC, do the dishes, do your homework, do, your physical activity. We can bring them to, their sports or the gym or whatever, but it's such a different experience when it's an intrinsic, when they have the desire and they want to.
Mm,
It's night and day when they take
mm-hmm,
that ownership and they say, "Oh, I'm part of the family, so that's why I get to
mm,
do chores,"
mm,
or I want to learn how to do, my daughter's
mm,
in gymnastics. I want to learn how to do a backflip, so I'm going to practice
mm,
every day. And,
mm,
I can see the difference in especially in children because they're so
mm,
transparent. They're who they are.
mm,
They don't start to mask. Unfortunately, our culture is one that in across the world, it's easy to try to shape a child and
mm,
try to say, "Hey, no, you should be this, this, and this." And
mm,
so I love that you're focusing on the unique fingerprint of each person because everyone has their own gift and their own way of accessing that. And really, the only way that they're going to achieve that is
mm.
intrinsically if they have that motivation.
Yeah.
So, what would be some tips that you would give to someone who doesn't know what their unique gift is?
I would say come and have a chat with me. But besides that, one tips or one thing that I always encourage people to do, particularly for very busy leader, find some time and be still.
Mm.
Being still is one of the key way into understanding yourself. I always use an analogy like a snow dome. So if you have had one when you're a kid or during Christmas time, when you're shaking it, you can't see things through. But when you let it sitting still on your palm, like a minute or two, you can start have clarity. So when we're on a constant motion, it's actually really hard for us to have clarity. And being introspective or like working on ourselves, the inner being, it takes time, and it takes conscious thought, and have a practice of being still, whether it's through prayer, whether it's through mindfulness exercise, is so important. One of the homework or activities or challenge, whatever you call it, I gave almost all of my coaching clients is find 15 minutes to be still every day and
Mm.
notice your thought. And every single ladies who actually did the homework come back and said, "Oh, I feel different." Or they had some aha moments while before, after they had the stillness. Because when we calm our mind, like neurologically, we are activating different parts of our brain.
Yeah, I love that analogy of the snow globe because you're spot on that, when we have so much chaos going, it's hard to really translate or just see anything clearly. But if we just let our mind calm down a little bit, then we can start seeing clearly again. I love that. So what is your future vision of, now that you have a clear purpose, what do you see in the future that you want to help impact the world with?
There's a couple of things I want to see. First of all, I would like to see the current and futures later arise and flourish without sacrificing their well-being. Because a common problem that I've heard from ladies over and over again, they felt like they're juggling a lot of balls at the same time, and they felt like they can't hold them all. And they want to find a balance. And when I heard that, actually, I would challenge to reframe it rather than a balance that you implying you have to sacrificing something in order to get into the equal is the integration. And that integration looks differently for different people. And also that integration looks differently in different life seasons. And it's dynamic. This is very important. So having that message out and loud and get it penetrate to a society that value constant hustling, because I believe favor over hustling, particularly if they're a follower of Jesus. And I believe there's favor in just observe or following some of the biblical principle in work. And secondly, one of my dream is to have host retreat for leaders because I love a very sensory experience, and I'm quite a creative person. And because actually I host a retreat last year and coming November in Taiwan for leaders speaking in Mandarin. So they get together, particularly for women's leader, they get together and using arts and craft. And I also, because I love essential oils, like making those like DIY, so you can smell it, you can feel it. And that's a really deep relaxation exercise that happening, and also the deep bonding, before the 3 days you spend together, you may not know each other, but after 3 days in a very nice natural environment, they become friends. And that's a lot of new thing can spark and spin off from there. And I would like to see that happening in Australia if I can bring it back to us next year. Another thing is I would like to build a community, like particularly for Asian leaders, or like people who are multilingual. How do you hone into your cultural heritage while living in a foreign country, or like not your born the country that you're born in, but still can be very proud and integrate in a very seamless way. So this is something that I'm really passionate about.
That is beautiful, and I love that. Especially the retreat where it's an in-person experience, and to me, there's nothing better than meeting in person because the energy just compounds, especially when you bring women together. It's just such an amazing experience
Mm,
to have. And you're right, by the end, when you bring this beautiful group of women together, then magic kind of comes out in the end of just that
yeah.
synergy, the energy and becomes synergy. So beautiful. Well, I love that. What would you say? Well, first of all, how can people get a hold of you? What's the easiest way to get in touch with you?
That's a couple of ways. I'm quite active on Facebook, so you can find me on Facebook, just Sarah TSE, and also on LinkedIn as well, Sarah TSE. And I can share with you the direct link that people can click onto it. Just follow me on, or even DM me and say you're from Purpose Stories, and I can have a conversation with you. And I would love to hear your stories, and particularly for leaders that you may feel a little bit stuck or want to have some clarity in your personal or professional life, please do reach out, and I would love to support you and serve you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Sarah. So, what are some last words of wisdom that you would like to share with our audience today?
Clarity comes when you're being still. Have some time for yourself, and no need to hustle through sometimes. Just pause.
Beautiful. Well, thank you again so much, celebrating you in your journey and your purpose stories, and just so grateful that you came on today and shared it with us. So thank you so much, Sarah.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to share as well.